Hi, everybody. This is Kathy L. Murphy, the Pulpwood Queen, and we are back with the Pulpwood Queen Film Club pre-show. We have a very special guest that is on Zoom all the way from Florida. It's no other than the actress, author, TINA SLOAN. Welcome, TINA.
Thank you, Kathy, but I'm not, I'm in a little island off of New York. I'm not down in Florida right now.
What? Where?
Yeah.
You're up in New York?
Yeah, well, it's a little island off the coast of Connecticut that we're staying. We're leaving to go back to DC and then to Florida next week. But right now, we've been up here all summer.
That is hilarious. You know, I just interviewed Ricky Pittman and I said, and he lives in Louisiana. He goes, no. He goes, I'm in a little town in Oklahoma with my mom.
Well, I think
so
everybody
I guess I need to check that out before I make that statement.
Yeah, yes. But
well,
people went to get away from COVID problems and came to safer places, we hope.
Well, I think you're probably just fine. Well, we are thrilled you're here tonight because, first of all, I met you because you're an author. You had written a wonderful book called Changing Shoes. Tell us first about that book and how we got together. That's pretty fun.
Well, it was a soap opera. I was on a soap opera for a long, long time, and I saw the end of it coming, and I knew I was going to be changing my shoes from wearing those sexy high heels you wore as a soap star to the black flats you wore in real life. So that was how I wrote the book. And then I think I sent it to you, didn't I?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I remember sending it to you, and I can't remember quite why. Do you know why I sent it?
I've had hundreds of authors. I can't even imagine, but I remember the story really hit a note with me because I can't wear heels. Ever since I turned 40, got the bunion thing going on, people. So anybody out there that has those foot problems, but I always wore the highest heels you could possibly ever wear. And all of a sudden I couldn't wear them anymore. And I just said, how many other, and here you are, you look fabulous. And I mean, but it's something, if you want to know how old somebody is, look at their shoes.
That's absolutely right. That's so right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I have something from years ago when you first came that was given to me by author Kelly Coates Gilbert. I have this little shadow box.
It's my shoe from the show.
It's your shoes from the show, and they've got Lillian written inside, and you signed the inside of the shoe. And Kelly, she bought them in every year we have an author silent auction, and the money goes to a charity. And I can't remember if it went to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library or the Pat Conroy Literacy Center, but they're exactly my size. You have a narrower foot, but I was thrilled to have the Lillian Raines shoes. So, and what's great,
I hope Kelly's watching this right now.
I do too. You sent me a note. Oh, here's when it was, June 16th, 2011. Dear Kathy, I have my tiara as I write this. So fun. I've checked your website, New Book Club Talk Show, and I have asked to be your friend on Facebook. Glad I can be a big draw. Working on my costume. Hope you like it. Queen Cat, love, Princess Tina. And I treasure this. So it really means a lot to me that I get to.
The shoes are so good looking. They're still good looking. And that's 15 years ago.
This is when they used to make shoes, right?
Yeah, those are beautiful shoes.
They're beautiful.
I think they're Ferragamo.
They remind me of my French teacher in high school because she bought all of her shoes in Paris. And she always had exquisite taste. And she said, buy all your shoes in Paris, young ladies. And someday. But let's talk about, we had Changing Shoes.
Right.
And then you have another new book.
I'm going to show it to you.
Good. Because I was looking for mine and it's Chasing Cleopatra.
And you notice the little gun in her hand is smoking.
Yep.
I love that. I have a little silver pistol. Most people don't notice it, but I know it's there. And that's what's important, right?
Right. It's a very glam picture. And we've been doing all the Breathless Bubbles and books and all the book club with your book, and everybody loves it. So you're working on a sequel.
I am working on a sequel. And today, Kathy, I walk every day for about 5 miles. And it calms you down during this time, I think.
Yes.
But today I walked by myself. All these ideas came to me. I thought, I've got to stop walking with people who drain your ideas, because they're talking about their children, their husband, their houses or whatever. And you need to just be alone. I came home and I said to my husband, I've got so many answers to the sequel that I was worrying about. So I guess from now on, I'm going to walk alone. And I think a lot of writers walk by themselves.
I need you to write that story and I'll put it on my new writing blog, because that is, Scott Boyers, who I just interviewed, he gets in his mother's vacation home in Rancho Mirage swimming pool, and he goes under, he's a scuba diver, and he said, when I'm underwater, he goes, time just stops and all my best ideas, so I just float underwater and so you're doing, me, it's driving. I like to drive.
Well, or people have said showers. I remember Steven Spielberg said in the showers is when he gets the answer to some problem he has with a film. So I think everybody has to find a place. And now that I know what it is, although I love walking with my friends,
Well,
I
you
think
just have to walk twice.
more.
I walk every day too, but I agree with you. When you go by yourself, you see more, you think more. It's like a meditation.
I'm going to have to do it that way from now on. I know that's the answer.
Well, you look fabulous.
Thank
How do you keep your hair? I haven't done a thing with my hair since, obviously it's so long, but how do you keep it looking so good?
I don't really keep it looking good. There's a little tiny hairdresser with 2 seats on this island. There's one market and there's one hairdresser and one pretty store for clothes and that sells Chasing Cleopatra and churches, but that's about all. So I do go down there and have my hair cut and have it colored, the roots done.
Wow.
But other than that, my hair gets so wet when I'm walking every day. I mean, I perspire.
I have to wash it every day.
I just don't worry. Oh, I don't wash it at all. I think it's good for it.
Well,
maybe that's the answer.
Humid here, and the bugs, and you just want to make sure you don't have any little flying. It's East Texas. It's humid, but cool weather's coming. It snowed in Colorado.
I know my son moved to Aspen about a week before with his children, and they didn't have any winter clothes, so they had to go out and buy them because it was snowing.
Oh my gosh. Well, since you've been on The Guiding Light, I mean, as Lillian Raines, you have done a ton of movies. I mean, I knew
I'm going to see 2 of them tonight, Kathy.
I know, you're the first double feature, and they are as different as night and day.
They are.
So let's talk about those a little bit. Tell us about The Guru.
The Guru is so much fun. I mean, it's just hilarious. It's got a touch of Bollywood. It's got a touch of naughtiness, definite naughtiness.
It's the best kind of naughtiness.
Marisa Tomei is in it. Heather Graham, who I think is the most beautiful woman in the world, is in it.
Sure.
And I just had more fun doing it. I mean, it was wonderful. I don't have a huge part, but I went in for one line, and they liked me so much that they made the part bigger. And
I'm telling you, every scene you're in, you steal the scene because you're just, I just see your hand. I was laughing so hard, I had to play it back because because I know you. And I go, oh my gosh, this is so funny. I think everybody's going to love it.
It's so nice.
I love Bollywood films, so, I'm doing all the.
Oh, yeah. The Bollywood part was terrific. It really was.
And then it's just.
It was produced, a woman wrote it, Tracy.
Yes, I saw it.
Tracy Jackson, and a woman directed it, which is pretty unheard of. I think it should have been a huge hit, and it's still, I still get money from it because it still is seen on YouTube, and it's still, I mean, not a lot of money, and it's still in airplanes, and people come back from an airplane trip and go, my goodness, Tina.
It's hilarious. It's going to be one of my go-to films. If you're ever depressed, everybody out there in movie land, you have to watch this film. And the young man who plays it is just spot on.
And I can't think of his name. We'll know.
Ravi.
After we watch it, we'll know. I don't think he did anything after, but he was wonderful.
He was really great.
No, he was.
But, who knows? But I was wondering, I haven't seen him in any other film.
No, I don't think he did anything. Maybe he decided he didn't like to work that hard because he had to work very hard in that movie.
He had a pretty revealing part. I really love the gladiator outfit. That was.
The movie is just hysterical. And the Firemen? The Firemen, that was my favorite, I think.
Oh yeah, and look who played the fireman. I mean, you guys, there's a lot of people in it. The actress that was one of my favorite Broadway actresses that was in Mamma Mia is in it. I mean, there's some really, I can't think of her name. Oh, she's fabulous. She's got the bob, redhead bob. She's so cute. And she's a dancer. But everybody's dancing in this film, and it's got a happy, beautiful resolution. So
yeah, it
good
really
for you. Now, what about the second film we're going to be watching?
Second film, I was shooting at that time Black Swan with Natalie Portman. I had a little part in that, and I paid a bunch of money. But this movie, we made nothing. It's called Happy New Year, and it's about, well, the line under it is "Back from Iraq, the war has just begun." It's about my son in the movie, who comes back from Iraq with terrible, terrible wounds and has to go to a VA hospital. And in the VA hospital, he sort of becomes the person who pulls everybody together. He's in a wheelchair. And let me tell you, he was in a wheelchair for about a month or two ahead of time. He did everything in a wheelchair to see how he was treated so that he could really do the part well. He'd go down into the subway in his wheelchair. He'd go to diners in his wheelchair. And, you know, people sort of looked over him and didn't notice him. And it really taught him how to play this role. And he was wonderful. His name is Michael Cuomo, and he's Governor Cuomo's nephew.
Is that right? Oh, I hope Marilyn Rothstein's watching this, because she loves him. Oh, this is so cool. I had no idea. I will tell you that I waited to watch this film because I wanted to be in a really chipper mood when I was interviewing, and I was just afraid that it was going to be one of those movies where I'm such an empath. At the
end of the movie, everybody just sits in their seats. We went all around the country talking about it, and people would come up after in tears saying, "My son went through this too," and you hit it perfectly. He'd wipe you out. He'd stop talking to you. He wouldn't communicate. And at the same time, he was very popular with his VA hospital friends. You know, he really was happy there. Oh. But I don't want to tell anybody what happens, but it's a devastating movie. But it's important. It's so important to see. It's the most important movie I've ever done. I remember somebody gave us a floor in a mental institution where we could film it. I mean, people were giving us things, and Michael's girlfriend was making the dinner, or the lunches and dinners, so that we didn't have to spend any money on food. And nobody had any money. And when they'd give me money, I think I gave it right back to them because I was making some on Black Swan. But this, to me, is the most important movie of all the things I've done. And I've done Woody Allen. I've done movies with Al Pacino. I mean, Jodie Foster. But this movie, it's just so real. And my son happened to be a Marine in Iraq when I went and auditioned for this. And Michael Cuomo said, "You walked in and somehow you knew." Of course I knew, because I had a child who was in Iraq. And he said, there was no question we'd give it to anybody but you. And, I remember thinking, oh, and they were filming at the same time, but I was going to do them both. And I was so happy. This movie, it's the most important movie you'll ever see in your life.
I cannot wait, because as soon as this interview is over, everybody, I'm going to download it. It downloads, and I'll be putting it on the Kathy L. Murphy YouTube channel. And all you do is go to YouTube, type in Kathy L. Murphy and channel, and all the shows come up. There's 13. This will be 14 videos that are up of me doing story times, interviewing authors, doing the Pulpwood Queen Film Club. So I hope you'll all subscribe. But Tina, so what is the best way that people can get to, you have a website, and it's under TINASLOAN.com. And can they order your books there? Or
yeah, you can.
Okay, good. And then you've got another book coming out, and we will definitely, everybody out there, it will have the big stamp of Pulpwood Queen approval, because I love Tina Sloan, and I think she's the most wonderful stories. I found, when I was, Linda Bloodworth Tomlinson called me when she got out of doing the television sitcoms like Evening Shade and Designing Women, and she'd written a book. And she said, people don't like you getting out of your box. And how has that been for you as an
fine,
actress?
Absolutely fine. I mean, I'm still working as an actress, but
yes.
And you know, I'm doing 2 web series. One's called VeniceTheSeries.com and the other is called BeaconHillTheSeries.com. They stream on TV, and I've been doing them for like 6-7 years. One of them just is for 2 years, but the other one I've been doing for about 7
Where
years.
can we watch those?
On your TV, you go to www.beaconhilltheseries.com or VeniceTheSeries.com.
Okay.
So I'm still doing that. I don't think people mind. You know, they even put in one of the series, they put, they put on the bedside table, they put this book. So that was so cute of them. I mean, you know, I play a woman named Catherine. I don't play Tina. And, but they very cutely put it next to me while I was shooting a scene.
Don't you love those little extra touches? If you're a real movie buff, I find them. When J-Lo was in a movie with Jane Fonda, I jumped because on the back of her couch, she had this scarf. And I said, oh my gosh, I have that exact same scarf. I got it in Italy. And there it was on the screen. I was going, my scarf is in J-Lo's movie. I just thought that was so cool. How fun is that to have your book placed in there?
Yeah, it was cute. Well, it was just, you know, they're my good friends. I've worked with some of them were on Guiding Light with me too. The woman who's behind it all. So of course she's going to do that. We know we all help each other, Kathy. That's what we do.
That's
right. We have to. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen without you.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but I do know that nothing, when I was growing up, my mother wanted to be a movie star. And so the Oscars was the biggest night of the year.
I can imagine.
All the lights went out. We got Cokes, which never happened. We got popcorn. We'd all get on the divan. You know, nobody called them sofas back then. We'd get on this old nubbly green divan and we'd watch the Oscars. And to this day, the Oscars is the biggest night. So I'm having a film club Oscar party. Maybe you can join me. Maybe I can have you join me for my Oscar party.
Absolutely. And, we'll all wear our tiaras.
Yes, because we've had Oscar parties before, and it was a lot Oscar watching parties. But I'm thinking the film club definitely will have to have an Oscar party. But is there anything you want to share with those listening that are about to watch the films that we may not have covered tonight?
No, I think we've done a very good job. I think whoever's going to watch these movies is going to have such a fun time and such a learning time. The first one, you're happy and gay, and maybe you want to watch the next one the next day. But let me tell you, it's powerful. They're both powerful in different ways, but one's fun power and the other is real power.
And I have to tell you, I've watched The Guru twice, and it was funnier to me even the second. I was laughing so hard I missed some lines, you know. So, but I wanted to hold off on the other one because I just knew that it was going to be one that was going to be, you know, one that makes you think. And I have a lot of my family in the military, including my dad and my nephews. So we are going to close this. I'm just checking to see. I don't see any questions. So what we're going to do is I want everybody who has a question for Tina to go to her website or go to Tina Sloan McPherson on Facebook, right?
Yeah, that's my married name.
And just say, I watched the Pulpwood Queen film. You can also make comments on the Kathy L. Murphy channel. So if you see any comments, come back. I think once it goes there, it's taking us a while to get everybody on board this Zoom, all this technology, but it's not hard, is it, Tina?
No, it's not hard at all. I just came from another Zoom call a minute ago. I'm getting very good at it.
Well, the more you do it, it's just like anything, the better you get. But I like change, don't you? I think it's fun and exciting, and
sure.
And who knows what's next in the world? But we love you, Tina.
Thank you, Kathy, for having me. Okay.
You have a wonderful night up in New York. I know it's later there. And I'm going to download this movie, put it on the Kathy L. Murphy channel on YouTube, and I'm going to share it on all my pages, and then I'm going to go watch the films on my TV. If you guys do not, I put links to, I think The Guru was maybe the full show, but if they're not, you can go to YouTube and look for with those links. And if not, go to your favorite. They're on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. I looked on Netflix. Go to your favorite, Amazon Prime. They're going to be there. So, and if you have any problems, email me at email me at thepulpwoodqueen@gmail.com.
Well, let me just say that there's 2 gurus. This isn't, I mean,
yes, and there's 2 Happy New Years too.
And there are 2 Happy New Years. So use the guru with Marisa Tomei. Make sure you get one with Marisa Tomei. And Happy New Year with Michael Cuomo. And then you get the right Happy New Year.
Not with Shah Rukh Khan.
No.
It's a Bollywood film. And just one last thing I want to ask. Why is it all these people that I'm having on the show, I've got Candy Clark, who was up for the Academy Award on American Graffiti. And she goes, oh, I was just in this Bollywood film filmed here in LA with Bo Derek. I go, I want to be in a Bollywood film. So if anybody's out there, Kat, the Pulpwood Queen, is getting her moves down. So you guys, thank you, Tina Sloan.
Thank you. Okay.
Rock star. Thank you so much.
Bye.
We'll see you next time. And I just love everything that you're doing. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.